Welcome back to Kearsarge Valley Magazine. Once again from Clarke's Hardware in the New London Shopping Center, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 8 to 5, closed on Sunday. So today, obviously, we're done with the paint situation. We're done with the wallpaper. We're going to talk about something I don't know a lot about because in my young life, I've went to college, lived in an apartment, got married, currently living in an apartment. So I haven't had the pleasure of waking up in the middle of the night with going down to the basement and having water everywhere. In that case, you would need a sub pump. Talk a little bit about what the primary principle of a sub pump is.
Well, as you know, we have plenty of snow and ice on the outside at the present time.
Yeah.
Before too long, that stuff's going to melt.
Yeah.
It's going to go someplace, and the probabilities are it's probably going into somebody's basement.
Yep.
The idea behind a sump pump is to help get rid of that.
Yep.
Before it causes a whole lot of damage. Mm-hmm. The best of all worlds for sump pumps, they come with a float valve on them. If you have a little pit to put that in, that will help maintain a dry floor.
Okay, so we're talking about in the basement, digging out a hole. Obviously, it's not as easy as just taking a shovel and digging out a rough hole. You got to take some time and get some professional assistance in terms of doing that. But you're talking about kind of creating a gauge almost for water when you put the pump down there. This guy moves up, and when it gets to a certain point, the pump turns on.
Turns on, automatically pumps out till it gets to a level, and it shuts itself off.
Okay.
That's the best of all worlds, is to have a pit to put that in, a sump pit.
Okay.
If you can't get that, you can put these just flat on the floor.
Okay.
Okay. However, you have to keep in mind that you're still going to have about that much water left when it cuts itself off.
Okay.
It
And
won't
you're going to
go
have
flat
to
the floor.
accumulate a lot of water for it even to turn on. The advantage of this is that pit will hold the water and suck that stuff out of there before it even gets to your floor.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's going to get to your floor first,
yeah.
and then hopefully run to the pit.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But it will get it down to, the floor will eventually be dry.
Okay.
Okay. The other type that we have down here, these do not have float switches on them. These are a couple of pumps that you can set on the floor. You're still going to wind up with about that much water below it because it's not exactly flat on the floor. Mm-hmm. This works off of a garden hose connection, and when you want it to work, you have to plug it in, and you have to unplug it when it's done.
Okay.
If you don't unplug it when it's done, it will burn itself out.
Okay.
Okay.
So you don't have a sub pump, you don't know necessarily everything involved in doing it, but you have some water in your basement. So this is something that you can come down to Clarke's, pick one of these up, hook your garden hose, take the garden hose nozzle outside, plug it in, and it should pump the water out of your basement for you.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Now, is there a limit to how much this little guy can pump out? I mean, we're talking, are we talking a foot of water, 6 inches? How high are we going to go here?
All of these are submersible.
Okay. So they can go higher than the actual pump itself.
You can put it in the water itself, over the top of it. Okay. The bigger sump pumps, you don't have to worry about that because they're going to turn themselves on before they get totally immersed.
Okay.
As long as they're working. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they have the satisfaction guarantee from Ace, so if they're not working, you can obviously bring it back
Anything
and
you get from Clarke's, if you're not satisfied with it, bring it back.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
The other thing that you need with the bigger sump pumps is you do need a coil of hose, 24 feet worth of hose.
So this is your 24-foot hose.
24-foot
plastic
hose, right. Okay. It has the attachments to connect this to your pump.
Okay.
Okay, and a clamp to hold your hose onto your attachment.
Yeah, the clamp would be an important part.
Yeah, because you don't want it blowing off, right?
No.
Absolutely. Then you just run your hose wherever you want it to take the water out, and you're good.
Okay. Yeah. Now, sometimes when you're talking about pumping water out of basements, and people kind of get scared in terms of it being a messy, long, drawn-out, expensive process. Is this something that's going to really break the bank in terms of setting you back a little bit, or can you come in and do this for a reasonable cost?
You're looking in a range from about $50 up to $150.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So depending on where you're at, you can make the decision then as to how long. Maybe you've never had water, but the amount of snow that we have this year, this is the first time you're going to have it. You may want to go with something like this. and not make a
Right.
a bigger investment. But if you have consistently problems, you want to go with kind of the heavier duty guy.
Last spring is probably as close as an equation to something really serious happening that we've had recently. And when we had all that rain, we had a lot of water in basements.
Yeah.
So it's
Indoor
not
swimming
pleasant.
pools.
It's not pleasant. The other thing I think people need to keep in mind is once you do get a flooded basement, you also not only have to get it dried out, but now you're going to take a chance on, or you're going to have somebody come in and look, see if you got a mold and mildew problem forming.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you mentioned spring. Spring last year was bad. Spring is, I'm told, it's coming at some point here, pretty soon. But I'm from Northeast Ohio. Usually, spring means getting sunnier, flowers blooming, nicer weather. I'm starting to learn here in New England it means rain, ice melting, and there's 2 seasons for me. I'm starting to hear winter and ice, and then there's summer.
You forgot mud season.
Well, mud season too. Yeah, my car knows very well about mud season.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, John, thanks once again for informing me about something I really didn't know about, and now it doesn't seem so daunting if I ever have to come in and run to this problem. We'll come down to Clarke's here and pick one of these bad boys up. Thanks a lot, John.
Certainly. You're welcome.
All right. Join us next week. We'll have another session here from Clarke's and some more helpful hints. Thanks a lot.